Hello and welcome to West Country Wanderings. Welcome to one in my railway series. Yes, we're looking at some steam trains, also some diesel trains, diesel loco, DMU, auto train, lots of different things. Where are we and what's happening? Well, we're back on the Severn Valley Railway again. I'm back here at my favourite locations here in Worcestershire, which is Dropping Wells Farm, looked after, managed by the Worcestershire Wildlife Trust. Just over there is the West Midlands Safari Park between Bewdley and Kidderminster. I've just parked up here. So I'm going to do a few different things today. I'm not quite sure at the moment. I'm recording this in the earlier morning, how it's going to pan out today. So I'm near the tunnel. Hope to get some shots of trains coming in and out of the tunnel. And the reason why there's an intensive timetable, we were last here at the Spring Gala. This time it's to do with Railway 200. You may have seen the logo on that on trains if you've been travelling around recently. And what that's all about is 200 years of railways. Yes. It was September 1825 on the Stockton and Darlington Railway. First passenger train run there. 200 years later, yes, we're here. So lots of the heritage line, including this one here on the Severn Valley Railway, having a bit of a celebration. They've also got an exhibition carriage at Kidderminster Station, which I hope to go and have a look at later on this morning. Anyway, without further ado, I'll show you some trains. Rather than talk about them, I'll put up some subtitles below just to give you a little bit more information about each of the locos and various trains. Hopefully we'll be seeing today here on the Severn Valley Railway. Well, I'm going to leave the site here at Dropping Wells Farm now. Going to head into Kidderminster station to have a look at the Railway 200 exhibition. I think it's a special carriage that's parked up on there. It was free actually. I bought a time ticket, just £2 booking fee, and that no extra cost. Other than if you wish to park your car at the rear station, I think that's £4 all day. But yeah, so we're going to have a look at that, and I'll show you a bit of the clips of that before I then show you some more trains. Well, I'm here at Kidderminster station now. A couple of exciting things. At 2 o'clock I'm going to have a look at the Rail 200. Remember I said it was 200 years since the Stockton and Darlington Railway. So that's happening at 2 o'clock. But half an hour before that I've got a tour of a very special train by Porterbrook. It's called the Hydroflex train. It's a prototype at the moment. It's an existing body. Is it a 913? I can't remember. I'll put the class number of the existing one that it is. And it's been converted to be powered by hydrogen cells. So the only emissions that it has, no noxious gases, no steam smoke or anything like that at all, just water. Brilliant. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll put some clips over now. So I've had a wander through the carriages of it, but 1:30, let's see if I can get you a couple of shots of the engine bay there where the hydrogen cells will be. So lots of activity here today, so excuse the background noise. Trains going backwards and forwards. After 2 o'clock, after I've had a look at the exhibition train, I'm going to hop on a train to Bewdley. So I'll have a look at Bewdley station before I nip into the town centre there. See you in a bit.
Each cylinder is 150 kilograms. So I'm going to put it to you that 2 of us would struggle to carry it. But they're the same leather that you get on airplanes. So it's like incredibly hard wearing. So if you see an old leather sofa, it's lost its colour and it's cracked. It doesn't do that. This will be good for years and it just never changes.
Much better than when they were
Just a little. Rail regulator is also very concerned in what we're doing, and they were over us like a rash, because we're doing groundbreaking stuff here. So if you look, they're all also mechanically wrapped in Kevlar. If the valve, or if the gas tries to flow through that valve faster than the maximum delivery rate, the valve says nah, and it shuts off, shuts that cylinder off. Okay. The second function is that there's a little glass bulb inside each of those valves that melts at 130 degrees centigrade. So if we had a fire in that cubicle, quite how I don't know, but if we had a fire in that cubicle, the glass bulb would melt at 130 degrees centigrade, which isn't actually that much in the great scheme of things, and all the gas would vent through that flexible hose over there, out the ceiling, so straight out the roof of the train. So if there was a fire in here, this coat would blow all the hydrogen out the roof, and then of course hydrogen is lighter than air, so it just floats away.
So that would all happen quite quickly then?
Yes. Well, I think so.
Yeah.
But so we have to acknowledge that hydrogen, carrying large quantities of hydrogen under high pressure carries risk. And again, as I said, so look over your heads. That's one of the hydrogen sensors there.
What, this thing?
Yep. If that detects 1%, the alarms kick off, and it starts a sequence. I think at 1% the alarm starts sounding, and at 2% the whole thing just shuts down. Can produce 125 kilowatts.
That's what.
Yeah. So that's 200. So in total we're chucking out about 500 kilowatts. That is. But when we bought them, the manufacturer said to us, if you run them at 100%, you reduce their life. Like your dad said when you got your first car, if you thrash it, it won't last. Okay. So what it does is we run it at 80%, and at 80% these fuel cells will outlast this train. Electricity, the contact closes, you've got power. That's it. Because you've got huge amounts of electricity. These take a few seconds to ramp up. So the driver calls for power, these start to pick up, but the train's motors won't cut in until these are at a level to be able to supply. Okay? In that interim 2-3 second period, we're shoving the electricity that this generates into a socking great bank of batteries underneath our feet. It's bigger than most dining tables. It's underneath the train in a big box. It's bigger than most dining tables. So we're throwing that spare energy from these fuel cells as it ramps up into the downstairs batteries. When the fuel cells have reached a level of output that the traction motors need, the contactors close, the train starts to take power. What we do at that point, because we want a lot of power to get this thing to pull away, it's 160 tons. We need a bit of power. What we do when the contactors close, we take the energy that these are producing and we take some of the energy from the batteries to top it up. And that's how we work it. On hydrogen power, this isn't quite as quick as it was on electric, which is why one of the reasons we limit it to 90 miles an hour when it's on hydrogen. And allow it to do 100 miles an hour when it's on electric. So it's not quite as quick, but it's quick enough.
Well, I've come round to one of my favourite places. I've arrived here at Bewdley. We were brought here from Kidderminster station via Western Courier. Fantastic diesel locomotive built in Swindon, I believe, in the 1960s. I remember seeing those when I was at primary school in Stroud, going past on the Golden Valley line. That was a good few years ago now, so it's great to see that again. Managed to get a shot of it with the auto train coming into Bewdley just as the Western loco was heading north towards Highley. I've just popped in here to the Queen Elizabeth Jubilee Gardens here in Bewdley. Popped over to the kitchen gardens there. I've just had a coffee, just reading my book, catching up with messages on YouTube. What a day. Now, since I last spoke to you, I've had that tour of that hydrogen train. That was amazing. So earlier on in the video I was filming some steam trains and some diesel locomotives, so 19th century, mid-20th century technology. But of course we're going into the 21st, well, we're in the 21st century, but this is really advanced technology. I'm not sure if it's the first one in the world, but certainly the first one for the United Kingdom. It doesn't have an alignment yet with one of the train operating companies like GWR or South Western Railways, but hopefully it soon will do. It's been tested. In fact, recently they were testing it on the Lickey Incline. If you know railways in this part of the West Country and West Midlands, it's a line that heads north from Bromsgrove heading up to Birmingham. Very steep incline there. Is it 1:37? So they took it up there from Bromsgrove and then back again and then back again up the hill. So it did it really well. The top speed of the hydrogen train is 90 miles an hour and the operating range is 325 miles. They've got hydrogen sourced from a company called Air Liquide, who I think are a Belgian company, but they have a British base in the northwest in Runcorn. Amazing. It just blew my mind, all of the details about the hydrogen cells and everything else to do it. Anyway, I'm going to hand you back now. We're going to take you over to Devil's Spitterford just to close the video off and get a couple more shots of trains. What an amazing day it's been here on the Severn Valley Railway. Well, that's it for today here on West Country Wanderings from the Severn Valley Railway in the county of Worcestershire. Beautiful location here, Dropping Wells Farm. Until next time, one of my railway series, or indeed any of my series, canal series, walking, you name it, we cover it, or I try to, here on West Country Wanderings, if it's in that area that I cover here on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, take care, all the best. See you soon, bye bye.